Fiucci, and you are watching Govs Radio. This is where you go if you want to see something or if you want to hear something funny. Coming up in just a couple minutes. This is a joke I told. What? I'm not on Gov Radio? Call the police. Call my agent.
The Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Behind the bag, it gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson.
You wanna live and all your friends. The party never ends. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. Throwing out your tricks. I'm gonna get my sticks. The mic is live and clear for you and all to hear. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show.
We're coming. No, you don't. No. We're coming. Here we are. Let me do that. Let me do this. And there we are. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody. It's Thursday. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Show. We're coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club. And we're on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast, the YouTube channel. I think we're on Facebook, too. I'm not sure. But if we are, we're monitoring the YouTube feed. So if you like to comment and say hello and you want us to see it, well, then do it on the YouTube feed. And, yeah, we'll say hi to everybody. And speaking of saying hi, Mike is here.
Who cares?
Good to see you, pal.
Good to see you.
Happy New Year. Happy holidays.
Fuck the holidays. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, that's what the holiday's about.
It is?
Yeah.
You mean a lot of sexual activities? Is that what you're saying?
That's all year. That's all the time. Especially in your case, now that you have a new girlfriend.
But it would be ungentlemanly like for me to elaborate.
I didn't ask you to.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Potato and Egg Kid is here.
Potato and eggs. Where is the sandwich?
You know, should we go next door and see if they have it?
Oh, at the Dairy Queen, whatever it is?
It's
Dairy Barn? Well, it's not Dairy Barn anymore.
You know what?
They went out of business years ago, and
yes,
all these years I thought it was still Dairy Barn, but it's not.
It's not Dairy Queen either, is it?
No, it's not Dairy Queen.
Yeah, it's still Dairy something.
Dairy
or is it what? Isn't it just the barn?
The barn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This isn't one of that. That's not the barn next door. You know, I'm sitting there thinking now, and I don't think I've ever realized this. I don't even think they have a name next door.
I was just sitting in my car. No, there's no name. It's just painted like a cow.
Right. For those of you, we've talked about it often on the show, but those of you who aren't familiar, there's a deli right next door. The club here, Governor's Comedy Club, it's been here for 40-something years, almost 43 years. It's not, it's kind of, I don't want to say hidden, but it's kind of like it's in a back parking lot. Hempstead Turnpike is the main street, but there's a big flea market and a big shopping center in front of the club. And you have to go behind the shopping center where there's a huge parking lot, and then Governor's is on the other side of the parking lot. And there's really nothing around here. Like there's there's some apartments behind us. There's a high school back that way. But right next door, and that's the only thing next door, like everything else is separated, but it's this little deli. And yeah, I don't think they have a name.
It's a drive-up deli.
It's a drive-through deli.
Yeah,
you can walk in or drive through.
Yeah.
They have a little thing like all the drive-through has, where you can, the speaker where you can talk in, but it doesn't work. So they have a girl that comes out. No matter what the weather is, there's a girl out there all day long just writing down your orders. She goes back inside, hands the order in, comes back out, writes the next order.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Is she on roller skates?
No.
No, that would be nice.
That would be nice. So the place is painted where it looked like a cow. It's all white with the black spots. Looks like a cow. And it's really not much to look at. Like, it looks like a dump.
It does.
But and then you go inside and it still looks like a dump. But I'm telling you, the food in there is fantastic.
No.
I can't tell you how many people have come in here with an egg and cheese sandwich, and they're like, "This place makes the best egg and cheese sandwich." And the one person I really think of the most when I talk about this is Mark White, who, if you guys have been watching for a while, Mark White, who used to be in the band The Spin Doctors.
Yeah.
Remember?
Oh, yes.
He used to be on the show regularly. I haven't talked to Mark in like a year. We were just texting over the holidays, but physically I haven't talked to him in like a year. I got to get him. He lives in he was in Oregon. I think he's back in Texas. But he lives in Texas. But yeah, I got to get him on a Zoom or something.
Yeah.
When he was with the band, he's not with the Spin Doctors anymore. But when he was with them and they were touring, so whenever they were in New York, he would come in here, and it would be one of the first things he would say, like, "I can't wait to get over there to see you guys and get me, one of those."
Really?
Oh yeah, and he would have to get it every time he was here. Yeah,
Wow.
I'm telling you. And then at nighttime, it's wild because you go into that deli like, I don't know, probably like 8 o'clock or so, and they just have this giant mound, literally a mound of bacon, and they're just cooking up a ton of bacon for the next morning. It's unbelievable. And you hear like a lot of people are like, "Oh, do you guys smell that bacon? It's fantastic." Like, it happens all the time.
I'd like to lay in it naked. Wouldn't you?
No, because it's being cooked. So yeah, but that's thanks for that visual.
You're welcome. I'm here to serve.
What is happening here? Oh, there we go. Okay. Carol Miner, Happy New Year. Same to you, Carol. An egg and cheese on a Kaiser roll would be heaven. Now, Carol is also in Texas. Yeah, you guys don't. That's really a New York thing, right?
It's
a lot
a
of
New York thing.
a lot of places don't have it.
No, I've traveled a lot over the country. You do not get an egg sandwich, a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich other places.
Back in April, me and Zach and Don, the three of us, the film that we made was playing at a film festival down in North Carolina.
Uh-huh.
Now, Don used to live down in North Carolina, so he knows the area, knows a lot of people. In fact, he wants to go back. So we went down there to go to this festival, and we were only down there for a weekend. Actually, yeah, a weekend. And it was the day it was that Sunday we were going to come home. And we were driving, so we just, we got up. Some of Don's kids live in North Carolina, and his grandkids. So we stopped to see his oldest daughter, who has, Don, who has 2 kids. So Don wanted to see his grandkids. And Don is Lisa's cousin.
Right.
So I've known Don forever. So I've known his daughter and whatnot. So, so it was like a nice family morning. But we only went for like an hour, right? So like we wanted to hit the road and get home. So we get to the daughter's house, and she was having kind of like she has 2 kids. They're both under 5. So
little. Yeah.
Really little kids. So like she knew we were coming, but it would just happen to be one of those mornings where she was just a little overwhelmed with the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
So she didn't have anything like for breakfast or anything. Not that we were really even expecting it, but still, we were there for an hour or so, and we didn't eat. So it's time to leave. We wanted to hit the road so we can come home, but we were like, oh, we got to stop.
Yeah.
The 3 of us are starving. But we just wanted to hit something like a deli, get something to go and go. So I go, we hit this, I don't know what, it was like a gas station, but down there, the gas stations is like gourmet for them. There's no delis down there.
No, it's no Stuckey's, Carol Miner. Stuckey's?
Bucky's,
I'm sorry.
Close enough. We knew what you meant.
Where is the peanut butter cup? Now go ahead. I'm sorry.
I
interrupted you.
Carol, I gotta send you money. I keep forgetting. I gotta mail Carol some money, but but she's good. She sends the stuff up regularly.
So you try to get breakfast at a gas station?
Pretty much. Like, unless you're sitting down in a restaurant, there's nowhere else to go. Like, if you just want to get something quick to go.
No.
So Don's walking around. He's grabbing what he wants. Zach's grabbing what he wants. I'm looking at the menu, and I turn to the girl behind the counter. I go, do you got? See, what bothered me with the menu, and it bothers me with a lot of places. A lot of places don't have it's not just a sign with their full menu anymore. Everything is all digital and a screen. So like you have to wait, for the next page to turn so you can see what the rest of the menu, and you have to stand there for 5 minutes. So I thought I saw the whole menu. I go to the girl. I go, "You guys don't have buttered rolls?" I swear, she's, "What?" I go, "Buttered roll." She kept repeating it. "A buttered roll?" I said, "Yeah, a roll with butter on it." I said to her, I said, "Can you hear the difference in our accents?" I said, "I'm obviously not from around here. In New York, we have buttered rolls."
Yes.
She looks at me. She goes, "I got to get my manager." She disappears. Maybe it was a good minute, maybe even 2 minutes. Manager comes out. "Hi, sir. You're looking for a buttered roll?" I said, "Yeah." So I repeat. I go, "Yeah, in New York we have these, rolls. You put a little butter on them."
Yeah.
She goes, "So you just want a roll and you want us to put some butter on it?" I said, "Yes." She goes, "Okay." She goes to the back. She comes back with a hamburger roll with butter on it.
I knew you were going to say that.
So what am I going to do? So I paid for it. I mean, she charged me, I think, maybe $1 or $2.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Here." So I take it. And, of course, in my mind, I'm carrying this bag. I'm like, "What the hell? I'm not going to eat this."
No.
But I'm walking, and I'm looking at the menu as I'm walking. Sure enough, there's more. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." Sure enough, there's English muffins. I'm like, ugh. So now I go back to the counter. I said, "Can I get an English muffin with butter?" Like, "Oh, yeah, sure." I'm like, "Okay, great." Get the English muffin. So I go to the car. We're leaving. Everybody's got their stuff. We're going to take off. First, I open up the hamburger roll with butter. I'm like, I take one bite. I'm like, "Yeah, no."
It's actually hysterical.
Yeah, it was very funny, but
Yeah.
there's no way I was eating it. So I'm like, all right, well, at least I got the English muffin. I can eat that. I opened the bag of the English muffin. It's an English muffin with butter, but they didn't toast it.
What?
Yeah. So
That's the whole thing.
I turned to Don. I go, "Is this how they eat the English muffins down here?" I go, "What is going on?"
Just out of the bag?
Just completely out of the bag, butter, done. And he's like, "No." He goes, everybody toasts the English muffin. He goes, "I don't know what happened here." So now I'm mad because we already hit the road. I'm driving. So now I have nothing to eat except I think I bought a small bag of chips. So that was my breakfast. I'm like, this sucks. I mean, the buttered roll is a funny story, but and even now the whole thing is funny. Like, how do you not toast the English muffin? But at the time I was like, because now I'm going to be driving, and I drove the whole way. I drove all the way back here. We did stop eventually, I think, to get a quick
Which
lunch.
is like a 12-hour drive.
No, it was only. I think it took us almost 6 to get there, and it was about 7 to get back.
Oh, that's not terrible.
No, it's not. It's not that bad at all. And I was actually proud of myself. I drove down there and back. I drove the whole thing.
Wow.
Which wasn't the plan. I just did it, and it on the ride back sucked. It was pouring the whole freaking time.
Ooh.
The whole ride was pouring. Yeah, I was pissed. Oh, Don Sill. True story, freaking hilarious. Don, what is that? Oh, that's your YouTube.
Is he eating an English muffin?
Yeah, he might be. You never know. Carol, next time, travel with your own rolls. Once out of the tri-state area, they have no idea what you were talking about. Well, yeah, I found that out.
I agree with that. Yeah.
And I did not find a Buc-ee's while I was down there either, which upset
Well,
me.
where is Buc-ee's? Just in Texas?
No, they're around in the South. They're around.
There are. Yeah.
And I remember when Lisa and I in August we went down to Kentucky, and there was I actually looked it up. There was a Buc-ee's like an hour and a half away. I was tempted.
Yeah.
But we never made it. Ow.
So I'm sorry.
He's playing footsies. Don says, "Gotta go Krispy Kreme in the South." Ah.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
It's your program, your show,
No,
your
it's
rules.
our program on Thursdays.
With the ex-wife, I went to North Carolina.
Yeah.
I don't know why I had to throw the ex-wife in there, but I'm just trying to paint the whole picture for you.
Got it.
And her daughter said, "Oh, you got to go to this bagel store. It's just like New York." No, it wasn't.
Right.
The bagels were like mini bagels.
Oh, really?
And if you threw them at someone, you would have been charged for homicide.
Like getting hit with a hockey puck.
Yeah, but it's something with the water. They can't make bagels like. or
That's what
something
I've
like-
heard.
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
I don't know if that's true, but I've heard that. And then I've even heard of some places will even get water from here
Yeah.
and ship it down
And ship
there
it
so
down
they
there.
can make it. I don't know if this is all true or not, but I've heard
don't
that. And yes, when I was there with Don, he kept telling me, "Oh, he said the big thing down there isn't rolls or bagels; it's biscuits."
Biscuits.
And what was
Yes.
it, Don? What was the name of the restaurant that like you were like, "Oh, that's the place to go if you want to get good biscuits"? I don't remember what it was called, but
Biscuits and gravy are big down there.
yeah. Which I mean, I'll have biscuits, but I don't want the gravy. I just put some butter on it. Fremder, a dry English muffin, nothing worse than a Knockem granny. You know, English muffin, like if it's not toasted or even just a slightly toasted on a hamburger instead of a hamburger
that's
roll.
not bad, yeah.
There's a restaurant,
Not bad.
a bar restaurant I used to go to when I worked at the phone company, and it was in the area that I worked in, so I would go there for lunch a lot. And yeah, one time, I guess it was my first time there. I ordered a burger and it came in,
English muffin.
And I was like, what the? But then I ate it. I was like, oh, this is fantastic.
Yeah, English muffins are great.
Yeah. Oh, Bojangles was the name of the restaurant.
Oh, Bojangles.
Bojangles, yeah.
I keep on kicking your foot. I'm sorry.
It's all right. I moved my foot now because I'm just tired of you. Unless you're playing footsies. Is that what's going on?
That's it. I'm sorry.
Did you get new sneakers there for Christmas?
I know. Everyone makes fun of me. People say I'm bougie sneaker.
My son is like that. He has like 6 pairs of sneakers.
No, it's just because they're Hoka's. Nice little, I'm going to give them a plug. Hoka.
What's that?
Hoka is a brand name.
Is that an expensive or like a fancy
They're
sneaker?
not cheap. These were like $170,
Really?
but they last 500 miles.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
And they look like they have thick soles.
They have thick soles, but your foot actually sits in it.
Well, that's how it works.
No, but it sits down in it. People say, when I was campaigning, the person I was walking with, she said, they look like platforms. I'm like, they're not platforms. My foot's down here. I know this is not really comedic for your show, but
No.
they are very handsome sneakers, aren't they?
No, this is actually good to know. I might because I need need
Especially
sneakers.
you, because
Yeah.
you have the situation. You need very good shoes, and I'll tell you why. Can I tell you? May I expound on why I wear these?
Sure.
You don't mind?
I
You
don't
look
mind at all.
nervous.
No, I'm just curious where this is going.
I had a bad case of sciatica once, right?
Okay.
So I went to the doctor, and I walked in there wearing Nikes, and he goes, "That's why you have sciatica."
Yeah.
So he goes, "It's all in your shoes." I was about 50 years old at the time. He goes, "Go to the running store, have them put you on the little device, all your pressure points on your feet." And from that day on, I bought a pair of Hokas then, and I have not had one back issue, leg issue, nothing.
Really?
And it's been about 7 years.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm going to look into that. Hoka.
Hoka.
I'm going to look into that. Yeah,
And
'cause
like
I
you
good
buy
sneakers.
those Nikes, no offense, but they're garbage.
Oh yeah.
I hate to make fun because people love Nikes, and there are some good Nike shoes, but no, they're not good for your legs.
They're not. Yeah.
They're not good for your leg.
Yeah. And they.
That was a little joke, but
I know.
went over
Yeah, I
that.
got you.
Sorry,
I got you.
sorry. You tired of leg jokes?
No.
I know you're not.
Oh, there's your buddy.
There he is.
Florida still has New York bagels. However, the people. What? Florida has New York bagels still. However, the people come from New York.
Oh, that's right. He has told me that. Yes.
Oh, he doesn't like New Yorkers?
No. What he's saying, if I'm understanding what he's saying, the people that run the bagel stores down there are from New York.
Oh, I got it. Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. And then he says, your sneakers look gay, he says. Oh, Andy Plajanos, the bagels are never good enough. Transplants eventually settle.
Sneakers are gay.
Add the lyrics, they have shit bagels to Johnny Cash's I've Been Everywhere. That's funny. I've got my hookahs on the corner. Yes, I know, yes. Greg Halverson wants to know, where do you get those shoes? Can you get them at any shoe store?
They just started about a year ago. They started selling them at Dick's. Yes, because Dick's actually. Never mind. You've seen the video, right? Of the one.
Of your dick?
No, you ever see the woman? The woman. It's a TikTok video of a woman. She's in front of Staples, And she goes, honey, they sell staples in Staples. Then she turns around and she's running towards Dick's, not saying a word. It's hilarious.
I've never seen that.
No, it's
That's hilarious.
It's hilarious.
So they sell these shoes at Dick's.
At Dick's and usually any running store.
All right,
But
I'm going to go there.
Dick's, yeah.
So there you go. Yeah, Greg is a very fashionable guy. Greg is a retired hairdresser.
Wow.
Yeah. I've been trying to get Greg in here, but we haven't been able to figure it out yet. But he's a retired hairdresser, and the guy is like, he works in like, the guy, he's always doing a play somewhere or a film. Like, this guy is nonstop. And a super nice guy, and he's been to 139 Kiss concerts.
I beg your pardon?
That's why he needs good shoes, because he goes to see.
Yeah.
So he'll go to Dick so he can get
Dick?
Kiss. I don't know. He says Dick's works. All right. All right. Well, all right, there you go. Those are our fashion tips. As you can tell, we're two fashionable guys.
Tony Walker and Mike Kaplan. Fashion Thursday.
That's it. How's the holidays? This is your first time here.
I would rather not speak of it.
You're such a Grinch.
Fuck the holidays. I'm sorry. I know it's the birth of Jesus. John Rusiello, I know he's going to say, fuck you, you moron. The birth of Christ, I understand the religious end of it. And I did have a lovely time with my grandchildren and the new woman in my life. But the pressure that's associated with it, combined with my birthday is right prior.
Combined.
You like the inflection?
WNBC.
Tony Walker's podcast. My birthday right before the holiday makes it just very stressful.
But your birthday, you're on the receiving end. When it's your birthday, you're the one who gets the gifts. So you're not planning your party or getting the gifts. So,
but it adds stress to people. Say you were.
Oh, you're not talking about just yourself. You're talking about the people in your world.
Yeah, because stress. I feel bad because now they're stressed. My parents actually went Christmas shopping one time on my birthday.
Yes, you had
growing up,
right?
mentioned
this.
Yes.
Yes.
I know. Sorry, I'm repeating.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
If you say you were in my family, you are my brother. But right, I would feel bad that God, he's got to worry about my birthday. My girlfriend's got to worry about my birthday. My parents, it's stress that I just can't stand. And
so bad that you can't even enjoy it.
No, but I enjoyed it this year because my new girlfriend, Trisha, she made it actually a wonderful day. She took the day off from work. She surprised me by inviting my son and daughter-in-law and the 3 little grandchildren over at night.
Yep.
And we went out shopping that day. It was a great, great day.
Right. So I would think the holidays, you would have a new appreciation because you have the grandkids and you watch them, enjoy opening gifts and hanging out with them and all.
When I'm with them, yes.
When you're with them.
It's absolutely wonderful. Mm-hmm. Absolutely wonderful. Other than that,
Did you not see them when you?
I did.
Oh, you
saw
did?
them a couple
okay.
times over the holidays.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Good.
I did.
Yeah, I get the impression you're probably close to your grandkids.
Very close to them, yes.
Yeah, I would think so.
Very close.
Better view. Okay. Yeah, that's much better. And do they does your ex-wife, the mother of your son, does she see the grandkids a lot? Do you have to see her a lot because you both want to see the grandkids?
How long is this show? She's there a lot.
Right. So you see her.
She's there a lot. Yes.
Yeah.
And we get along fine.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
We get along fine.
Well, yeah, you guys have been divorced for a long time.
Oh, since '96.
Oh, it's been that long, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yep, you're about to get yelled at. Go ahead. Go get him.
Do you have the fly swatter handy?
Oh, yes, I do, as a matter of fact. Yes, I do.
Smack him in the head with a fucking fly swatter.
Oh.
Please.
Wow,
Smack him in the head with the fly swatter.
he is mad. Listen to this
Wow,
man.
he's mad.
All right, hang on. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I haven't heard him this mad since Ed Koch lost the election.
First of all, you got to be a dick to get your shoes at Dick's. That's number one.
Oh, my God.
Okay, number 2, he's been knocking the holidays for years
Yes.
since I know him.
Me too.
He's full of shit. Trust me, I know this man better than I know myself. He loves the holidays. He just has to have. He just wants to be a bitch about it. Okay, stop it. And he got beautiful. He got a beautiful birthday present and slash Christmas present for me. All right, and
Yes,
he didn't even comment on it because he has to be a dick. And that's the only thing I'm saying about it. I love you guys. All right, and then next time he goes on a show, if he wears that stupid shirt, throw him off. That shirt looks like he wants to match his shoes. So is that not a faggler or what? Bye. I love you.
I got this just at Macy's the other night.
Wow.
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 All of a sudden, I'm depressed. I think I'm going to go home and
Yeah,
cry.
I was going to say, if anything, he just made you hate the holidays more.
Oh, yeah, I hate him now. Now I hate the whole year.
Let's look at
Oh, there's fly jizz on there,
yeah.
right?
Now, now, what's he talking about? What's the gift that he got you?
Oh, I think I mentioned it 2 weeks ago when I was here.
Oh, did you?
Him and his lovely wife sent me a case of oranges from an orange grove down there, and I ate them all because oranges are my favorite fruit.
Oh, I did not know
Besides
that.
my brother, of course. You know, and he's actually not my favorite, but anyway. They sent me a beautiful box of oranges from an orange grove down there, and I believe my buddy drove like an hour to go get them personally for me.
Oh, wow. Which says a lot because he doesn't really get around that well.
No, he doesn't. So he took an extra special trip, which I really appreciated. So
Wow.
yeah. So all of a sudden, my heart is warm. And can I say something? A little shout out to my
Yeah.
friend? John. We all have to have love in our hearts.
Oh, is that it?
That's it.
Wow. Don Sill says Thanksgiving is the best holiday. You know, I'll be honest. I don't know if I've ever thought about what is my favorite holiday. You don't agree with that either?
No, my favorite.
Do you have a favorite holiday?
Yeah, fucking Flag Day.
Flag Day? Flag Day.
Flag Day. It represents everything about our country. Flag Day.
4th of July.
The fireworks are nice.
Yeah. The fireworks, the barbecuing, the nice
See the
weather.
barbecue. Now, can I ask a question?
Of course you can.
4th of July, it's not about barbecues. Isn't it about the fireworks and the Declaration of Independence, you know, American history there?
Well, the fireworks are celebrating the Declaration of Independence.
Right.
For me personally, yes, I feel, and it's just my opinion, but I do feel that, yeah, barbecue, for me, the holiday is not complete without being with friends and family and barbecuing, and then, you know, and then the fireworks.
Very violent today.
Yeah, when I get to singing, yeah. A few weeks ago, Andy, you know, on Fridays, Andy is in here with me, and I have that picture of Andy, and he didn't make it. It was like a last-minute thing. He couldn't make it. So I strapped that picture to the chair, and I was talking, but I kept I was like, shut up, Andy. And I just, like, I couldn't stop.
Funny.
And even my mother said to me, like, my mother called me up later that day. She goes, that was very funny what you were doing. Like, I couldn't stop hitting it.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe I just have this hidden rage towards Andy. And then yesterday he came at me, not yesterday, Tuesday on the show, he was commenting, and he was coming at me. I don't even remember why. But he was scolding me for something. So I'm like.
By the way, can I ask you a question about that particular fly swatter?
You always have intros. Just make your statement or ask your
You
question.
know what's funny? My now girlfriend, whom I love dearly,
Yes.
she says I always have a disclaimer, and it is true. I love my intros. It's part of my shtick.
Oh, all right. But yes, ask me anything you want.
This is a sealed studio, correct?
Correct.
Why do you need a fly swatter?
It was just maybe, what is this, January? It was probably, I think it was October or November. There was a fly in here, and I
He
think.
had no business being in here.
Well, true. But I think it must have been a female because I think it gave birth. I'm telling you, they were, like, you would get the fly, like we would kill a fly, then you'd see another one. You kill it, then all of a sudden there was another one. At one point, there was two at the same. There was never more than two. Sometimes we would see two at the same time, but this went on for about a month. At least a month. And like the guests that would come in would say something like, "What's with these flies?" Or the other shows, they would come in to do their show every week, and they're like, "You haven't killed this fly yet?" I was like, "No, I killed the fly. There's another one." Like, this went on for at least a month, maybe even 2. And so, who brought that fly swatter? Was it Julie? I figured who brought it
And
in.
she even brought a nice little hook to hang it on the wall.
Yeah, and that's what I did. I hung it on the wall. I like it. But now I enjoy it because I get to smack you and Andy and whoever else.
And it's got fly DNA on it.
But but it worked because I haven't seen any in a while. Thankfully.
Well, you know
was pissing me
why?
off because it's cold out.
Yeah, because it's 11 degrees in here, and they can't survive.
It's not. It's warmed up in here.
That's why I'm wearing a flannel that
John
flannel,
doesn't like.
The gay flannel. By the way, I just got this the other night at Macy's, right?
Okay.
And my girlfriend said, "Oh, that looks really nice on you. It highlights your blue eyes."
Oh, very nice.
So,
well, yeah. Who cares what John says then? If she likes it,
yeah, John.
And John will have a new appreciation for it when he hears that, because that's why we do anything, is to keep our ladies Randy for us.
Randy,
how about
Very nice.
From there, I celebrate Hanukkah, so all I want for Christmas are my Jew front teeth. It's me is watching. Hello, it's me. As a December baby, I get what he is saying. The worst thing you can say to a December baby is, "I got you a birthday Christmas gift.
Oh, yeah.
Would you like to do? Would you do that for a July baby?" Yeah, I actually I know somebody. I know this kid that my kids went to school with. Her birthday is over the summer.
And so she couldn't share it with her classmates.
Right. So the parents actually would pick a day during the school year just to celebrate. And they would bring the
what my ex-wife proposed to me once? She said, "You should change your birthday to July or August so you have a nice warm day."
Well, that's the thing. Jesus' birthday is not December 25th. I
beg your pardon?
It's not. His birthday is June or July. I don't know why. I don't know the history. Do any of you guys know why was December 25th picked? That's not his birthday.
Well, I thought that was the day he was born.
It's not. You think these wise men were going to walk through snow? No, it's really not. No, it's really not his birthday. It's not. Or so I've read.
Why isn't this documented? How come we don't know this? We're Catholic.
It is documented somewhere. That's what I'm saying. I've read this. I don't remember where I read it. Can you guys help me? You guys enlighten us? I'm almost I've definitely read it.
Our
I
friend
don't know
John,
if it's true.
I'm sure knows. He knows about everything.
Carol Miner says, "Wow, John is mad." Don still says Juneteenth is a good holiday.
Juneteenth. I still don't understand what Juneteenth means.
I don't know why they call it that, but if I'm not mistaken, isn't that the date of Martin Luther King's speech, the famous "I Have a Dream" speech? I think that's
you're absolutely right. Yes.
Yeah, that's why they have it that day. I don't know why it's called that though. Why don't they just call it, "I Have a Dream Day" or something?
Isn't there a Martin Luther King Day in January?
Yeah, not this Monday, the Monday after. But that's his birthday, I think.
That was his birthday.
You know what?
I don't know.
I don't know. You guys, John Rusiello says, "God bless Jimmy."
Oh, his friend Jimmy Savarese is the one that used to walk around the precinct and say, "You got to have love in your heart."
Oh, okay. Fremder actually comes up with a good one. He says, "You guys look like Flag Day." Between the two of us, we do look like Flag Day. That's pretty good. It's me, says, "The real reason for the selection of December 25th seems to have been that it is exactly 9 months after March 25th, the traditional date of Jesus' crucifixion." Really?
What?
Andy Plagano says, "The church co-opted the pagan winter solstice holiday to help with the conversions." All right, it's me again. As Christians developed the theological idea that Jesus was conceived and crucified on the same day, they set the date of his birth 9 months later.
Wait, he was born March 25th?
No, saying he was conceived and crucified on the same date.
Oh,
March 25th. All right, but then his birthday would be December 25th. Because
Yeah.
March to December is 9 months. I'm very confused.
Me too.
Andrew Fremder, Martin Luther King. I had a dream. Ugh.
Oh,
Plajanos, Juneteenth commemorates the last. Oh, you know what? He's right. Juneteenth commemorates the last slaves that were informed they were actually free. Way to white it up, fellas. He's right. I did know that. I actually did know that because we talked about it at length on this show once, and I just blew it. Don Sill, in ancient Rome, December 25th was a celebration of the unconquered sun, S-U-N, the unconquered sun, making the return of longer days. It followed Saturnalia, a festival where people feasted and exchanged gifts. Oh.
wow.
And then Don also says, yes, Juneteenth is when the slaves were set free. Yeah, Andy's right. That was when, I believe it was down in Texas, if I'm not mistaken, that the last group of slaves were told, hey, you guys are free.
Yeah.
It didn't all happen like in one day. Like, as of June 19th, you guys are all free. Like, it took a while to kind of spread the word and actually go about and free groups of slaves.
I have many jokes about this, but I think I should keep my mouth shut. That would be wise, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I get, on Tuesdays when Sean Elliott is here, I do get racial with him. But
and he's good with it.
Oh, he's great with it. He shoots it right.
He
back.
does. That's
good.
absolutely.
Oh, and we have a blast.
Yeah.
A couple of months ago, Don and I were in here on a Saturday night, and it was the first time I met Sean Elliott. So it was probably like, I don't know, September, October. And so Sean Elliott came in first. I had seen Sean before. Sean's in a wheelchair, so like it's hard to forget. So I'd met him a few times before, but he had never been in here. And I got in here early, and I start setting up, and I see Sean in the hallway, so I just kind of waved to him. But he happened to be kind of like wheeling down here. So I was like, Sean, I said, come on in. He said, oh, yeah? I said, yeah, come on in. I said, you're going up tonight? He says, yeah. I said, well, you're hanging around. I said, why don't you come do the show? He's like, yeah, I was waiting for you, waiting to find out when you'd ask me to, finally come in here. So I just said to him, I said, well, I don't let a lot of black people in here. And he just lost it. He said something back to me. I mean, we immediately just hit it off. And then another black guy, comedian, Ivory Fields, he came in. And then JJ something, he's a black comedian from Atlanta who happened to be up playing that night. The three of them came in here, and Don was here too. And, I mean, we just were going back and forth with, black jokes, and they were hitting us with white jokes.
Yeah.
And they were kicking our ass, by the way.
Oh, they were, yeah.
But, man, all five of us laughing our asses off. It was so much fun. And really, and then me and Sean hit it off from there, and I think it was just within a week or two.
Isn't it nice when black and white people can get together and joke about stuff?
That's the beauty of, and I do it a lot. The regular family of viewers here, they know it. I talk music a lot, but and to me, it's a very similar world. I mean, they're both in the arts. They're both performing arts.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel about comedy and music. Music, you're watching a band play. These guys are just playing their music together, looking at each other, smiling. Your color doesn't matter. You're just playing some good tunes.
No, absolutely not.
Same with comedy. It's the color doesn't matter. Everybody's just as welcoming and supporting. If they don't like you, it's just because you're a dick. Not once have I ever heard. I've never heard a white guy say, "Oh, well, that guy, they had to have the one, so he got that gig." Nothing. And I've never heard a black guy around here say, "Oh, another show with all white people." Like, I have never heard any of that around here.
Yeah.
I mean, is there more white? Or are there more white comedians than black here at Governors? Yes, and I'm not saying Governors does it on purpose. I think it's just the way it works out.
Yeah.
As far as like the area that it's in, I think it just works out that way.
The demographics.
Just like there's also a lot more men comedians than women comedians here, and same thing. I just think it just happens to be that way.
Yeah.
Nobody's consciously saying no blacks. Let's not get the women.
Oh, no.
Like, it's nothing like that.
No.
In fact, I do find it a little upsetting sometimes because sometimes you'll see a show where like the women of comedy, or it's like a women's show, and I understand it and I appreciate it, and I usually know the comedians that are in it and I enjoy them. But to me, it's just a sad thing that we have to even still kind of specify or make it that, because to me it's all just funny people who are putting on good shows and doing good sets.
I know we live in a different world now, but remember the old roasts that you used to watch? It was black, white people. I mean, race and color making fun of each other, and they were crying, laughing.
And the stuff they were saying.
Oh,
I mean,
my goodness!
Even now, you look at it, your jaw drops.
Yeah.
There's and we talk about it a lot in here. Like Don Rickles, he wouldn't.
I was just gonna say, Don Rickles said to Nipsey Russell once on Nipsey, they need help in the kitchen.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
But
it's you have to
it would never fly today.
never fly.
There's a clip on YouTube because I'm a big Don Rickles fan. I'm a
me
big
too.
Don
He
Rickles
was-
guy.
Yeah.
There's a clip. I don't know what the purpose of this clip was, but it's from the 80s, and it's Tommy Lasorda and like 3 or 4 players from the Los Angeles Dodgers, and they're standing there. I don't know if this was for a comedy sketch show. I don't know what this was, but it's Tommy Lasorda and three or 4 players are standing on the field. They're in uniform. And he's like giving them like a pep talk, if you keep your eye on the ball and you'll do well. It's all very corny and scripted. But here comes out of the back. Here comes Don Rickles. He comes running over. He's in the Dodgers uniform too, and the whole idea is him to just mess with these players, right?
Yeah.
He goes up to Vladimir Guerrero. So if you're a baseball fan, you knew the baseball in the 80s. Vladimir Guerrero, Pedro Guerrero. Pedro Guerrero. He was a big guy. In fact, I saw him once at Shea Stadium, outside the stadium, after a game once, get into a fight with a fan. He was a big dude, and he was the one in the late 80s. He thought David Cohn was trying to hit him.
Yes.
And he threw his bat at David Cohn.
I remember that.
He was not a man to mess with. Tommy Lasorda comes up to him, goes right in his face, "Hooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-dooba-dooba," just like that. And then he says something about living in the jungle or something. I laughed my ass off, but at the same time, I'm like, holy moly. The balls to say that to him. And again, that would not fly today. That would not fly today. But, I love that stuff. And I don't know. Sometimes I just think it's a few select people who just happen to have access to be able to make headlines. They're the ones that are crying about, oh, you said this and you said that. Meanwhile, most people don't give a shit.
No.
And again, we get black comedians in there with white comedians, and we're just laughing our asses off, and we're all hugging at the end of the night. Nobody's mad at anybody for anything.
Tony, remember I was doing a little fundraiser for myself at McGuire's out in Bohemia?
Fat J
was there. And, a couple people from, and I don't want to make this about Democrats or Republicans. That's not what it's about. But there was a couple of people from, like, not my team, but supporters that were there. They were so offended by the comedy, they left. Oh, it's all about misogyny and get black versus white, all these. And I remember, like, a week later talking to these 2 individuals saying, it's comedy. It's jokes. It's not, it's not real,
Yep.
A
lot
they
of
were really offended.
which is, I'm sorry, they're your friends, but that's ridiculous.
It is.
We've
No, they're not my friends now.
A lot of the comedians that you talk to, they love coming here because your typical governor's crowd, not these people who don't normally come to the club,
Right.
but your typical audience member governors, they don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
They want you to cross the line because they want to laugh.
They want to laugh.
And, I'm talking the national headliners will tell you that. Would love coming here because these guys love comedy. Like, a lot of people play New York City. Most of the crowds in the city are tourists.
They're tourists.
So you get into racial, you get into politics or whatever, and they do. They get offended. They get up and leave because they're not your typical New Yorkers.
No.
So, but here is not tourists. These are locals. These are New Yorkers.
Oh yeah.
And they want to laugh. And in my opinion, this is one of the last places where you can just
let it all hang out.
let it hang out, and people will laugh.
And there's no barriers. And,
Right. And I've told the story a million times, but I'll tell it again. Every 2 or 3 years, Louis C.K. comes up with new material, and what he does is that he hits all 3 governors' comedy clubs within a week and a half, and it's all like weeknights. And there's no advance notice. It's that morning, governor sends emails out, Louis C.K. tonight, Louis C.K. tomorrow. Get your tickets, and they always sell out. And he does maybe 2 dates at each club. So I've seen him a couple of times. And there was one of the when he was making one of these weekly week-long stops at Governors Clubs, he compared something to having a kid with autism. He didn't say anything particular about autism itself. He was just like, such and such is like having a kid with autism. And the crowd is roaring, laughing. And I remember, and he did catch some shit for it because somebody called Newsday, and Newsday, and it was great because then they called here. Governors wanted a quote from here. And they're like, no, we don't have a problem with the joke. We love Louis C.K. There's no story to tell. And they actually quoted Governors as saying that, which I loved. But yeah, so he caught some shit. But I saw it. I saw it myself, And he says it, and I didn't laugh. And I did think to myself, I didn't really like that one. But 3 seconds later, I'm past it. I'm now laughing my ass off at shit he said.
Something else, yes.
That's what really kills me. Like, such and such was offended by, okay, you're offended. Now what? Like, what are we supposed to do now? Why does everything have to stop because you were, or that group was offended? This one was. You don't like it? All right. I hear you. But now, just move on. I'm sure you've said something in your life that such and such didn't like.
Absolutely.
That person didn't judge you. They just disagree with that particular statement. So what? You move on.
Move on.
And especially in the social media world, you just keep scrolling if you don't like what somebody has to say.
Exactly.
Somebody put up a political post, and I fell for that trap too. We all did when we first signed on to social media. When I first joined Facebook in 2008, I used to fight with people like crazy about Democrat, Republican,
me too,
union, non-union. And now I'm like, who freaking cares? I don't know. That's a regular thing. They're out in the hallway yelling at each other.
All you have to do is hit the 3 little buttons, unfollow, and do that, and you move on.
See, but even that, I'm not going to unfollow somebody because they feel differently
I know,
about me.
right.
I don't want to put
extreme.
And I don't even want to put that much effort. That's how lazy I am. I don't want to put that much effort into it. I got to hit a button.
I know.
I'm just going to keep scrolling. A lot of the Christian symbolism for Christmas comes from the pagans, which is true.
Yes, that is.
Yeah,
true.
that is true.
Yes.
Yeah, that's from Carol Miner. When I worked at the phone company, I worked most of my career at the phone company was spent in Hempstead. Hempstead, if you're not familiar with that town, is one of the poorer areas of Long Island. I'll leave it at that. And where I worked, directly across the street, was a little strip of stores, like maybe 4 or 5 stores. One of them was a strip club called the Garden of Eden. If you're a white man, you do not dare walk into that place. I think it was like my first or second day of working there. I was already in the phone company. I knew a bunch of people that worked there already, and I had transferred in. So I already knew a bunch of guys. And I asked, a couple, what goes on in there? Like, I don't know, we've never been in there. I'm like, well, let's go check it out. Yeah, you walk in and it's like, it's like crack, women on crack dancing, like all disgusting. Like, it was not pretty. But I'm telling you, you walk in, I mean, you take one step in, and I must have heard 3 different voices. 5-0. 5-0. I'm like, they thought we were cops.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, all right. Yeah, we were getting looks like we.
So you actually walked in there.
Yeah, but we spent, I think, 10 minutes. And we're like, plump, we're out. But right next door to this strip store was the Long Island headquarters of Hell's Angels. So when I first saw that actually scared me more than this strip club.
Yeah.
And you would see the motorcycles and stuff, but you never heard a peep out of these guys. These guys were quiet.
Yeah.
But the reason I'm bringing it up is because every year at Christmas, you'd see at least 3 of them. They're out there. It looked like a big house. And there'd be at least 3 of them on ladders and stuff putting up Christmas lights. And they would the whole house would be decorated.
Yeah.
Christmas trees in the front. Like used to make me laugh. These are Hell's Angels. Like, what the? Yeah.
Do you know how much piggybacking off your sentiment, like Angels of Long Island that my girlfriend works for?
Yes.
The Hells Angels donate a lot to charity.
Really?
And I was shocked because nobody really knows what they do, but they give a lot to charity.
Wow.
A lot.
I don't know. Maybe they've changed over the years. I mean, they used to be, known as a dangerous, violent group.
Yeah.
And I, of course, again, going back to music, I think about when the Rolling Stones hired them to run security at a festival that they put together in 1969, but it backfired. They were just beating the shit out of people the whole time. And Jefferson Airplane played. They even jumped on stage and beat up their lead singer. Not Grace Slick, the guy, Marty Ballin. They beat the shit out of him. And then as the Stones were playing, they killed a man right there. As the Stones were playing right there in the front, they actually killed a guy. Yeah. Which was, of course, that was big news. Yeah, that was crazy. But that's funny that they donate.
Oh, they do a lot of good for the communities. Yes.
All in the Family, one of the funniest shows. They would never allow that now. So that's from It's Me, and and I find that very funny that it would never fly now because Archie Bunker was the butt of the jokes. He was the racial one.
Butt. Yes.
He was the racial one, the opinionated one, but the one that they all made fun of.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like, people were following him and that was the show was about. They were fighting against him. And the same with the Jeffersons. My issue with the Jeffersons, though, was that I loved the show. And same thing. George was always the butt of the jokes because he was the racial one.
He was the Archie Bunker of the Jeffersons,
right.
Yes.
But if you watch the show, like the next door neighbor, their buddy Tom, who was married to the black woman.
Yeah, the mixed couple, yeah.
But the white people were always the dumb ones on the show. That show.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I didn't like about it.
Yeah.
All in the Family didn't do that.
No, they didn't. They actually made the Jeffersons, like Lionel, actually very intelligent.
Yes,
like
which is fine.
Jefferson was, and what was the wife's name? George Jefferson's wife, I forgot.
Wheezy,
thank you. She was a very wonderful person.
Yeah.
Right? Just like Edith, very similar.
Her voice used to make me nuts. She sounded like a guy. Wheezy. She kind of talked like this.
Oh, I think she smoked about 8 cartons a day.
She must have. She must have. Yeah, absolutely. John Rusciello, comedy and music is food for the soul.
Oh.
See, and it goes back to the shoes. The soul. Sorry.
He needs a pair of hokas.
Yeah.
But it's nice.
He's softening.
He calmed down.
Fremder, a racist baseball comment takes balls. 4 to be exact. Oh, what the... Jeff Bosey's watching. Hello, Jeff. Don Sill says February 3rd show. We reppin', baby. Yeah, I did show the graphic before, and I'll show it again now. It's February 4th, Don. February 4th, Sunday. Sunday, February 4th. In the Giggle Room here at Governor's in Levittown. Laura Patton, Dara Jamat, Fudge, Darren Greggs, Christina Holloway, and myself. I'm hosting the event. It's a comedy show in the Giggle Room. What this is, it's a live taping. Christina Holloway has been tapped to star in a new reality show called Christina Can. The premise is where Christina will be basically she goes out and she goes out and tries new things in life, a variety of different things. So this one, she's trying stand-up comedy. So come see the show. You'll be witnessing her first time on stage doing stand-up.
That's Christina Holloway?
Christina Holloway, yeah. She's there on the right, on the end there. So that's fun. It's going to be a taping for the show. But the other comedians, Laura Patton is fantastic, Darren, and, of course, Fudge, who's a Long Island guy.
Fudge. Why is his name Fudge?
I don't know what it stands for.
Maybe that's his favorite sweet.
Could be. I don't know. But Fudge was on a TV show. There was a TV show about comedy on, Don, what was it on? Showtime? Artie Lang was one of the people on it. But Fudge was on the show. It was like a documentary type show about comedians. It was called Crashing. Just, because you see all these great comedians out there. It looks like they're living a great life, but that's really a small percentage of comedians.
Very small percentage.
A lot of them are just, hustling, trying to make it. So, and Fudge was on that show, and he actually seemed like for a while he was going to kind of blow up. He did kind of blow up a little bit through that show. But then for personal family reasons, he kind of stepped out for a while, and now he's working his way back, so we're excited to have him. He's just one of those comedians that everybody seems to love, and anytime you bring his name up to a comedian, they all say it. Oh, love Fudge. He's great. So we're very excited about that. That's February 4th in the Giggle Room. Laura Patton, hilarious, a close friend of mine. She's been on this show many times. She's great. So Christina and Darren Greggs, and we're working on getting a lot of these guys for that show in here to talk to us and hang out with us. Dara's out of the city. Darren, I believe, is a city guy, but he's down in Atlanta now. Christina's from Atlanta. So, so we're putting this show together, the tape for the reality show, and it's going to be fun. So we hope you guys can join us. That's February 4th. So, yeah, Don, we're doing it. Andy Pagano says Fudge is amazing. Fudge is clean, too. He doesn't curse in his act.
Really?
Yeah. Yep. So that'll be fun.
That's a very rare thing today for stand-up comics. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really.
No, you don't really curse.
I don't curse.
really curse that much.
Oh, in real life I curse, but
Yeah.
my act I don't curse. My closer, the closing story I tell to end my set is a dirty joke. But I think it works better because the rest of my act I might throw a shit or if I'm reacting to the audience I'm like, oh, what the fuck? But like I don't use any curse words in the scripted set.
Yeah.
Which I think helps because in my last joke, which is dirty, I don't think they expect it. So when
I like
that's
that.
my little right there. So all right. So Fremder, I used to date a stripper named Fudge. So, all right. So, let me see. I got a bunch of stuff. We still have... Oh, it's only 12 o'clock. I thought it was later. So, we still have some time. I got some stuff. Oh, so I was looking. I read a report yesterday. I read a lot of news because I'm looking for stuff, unusual stuff that I can talk about in here. And I see a report yesterday. I got an email yesterday, actually, from one of the news outlets. Long Island... due for a major snowstorm this weekend. I'm like, oh, I didn't hear anything about that. So I click on it. This article actually said, Long Island could be expecting 10 inches this weekend or nothing. I swear to you, that was the first sentence. I'm like, or nothing? 10 inches or nothing?
That's correct.
So they basically just covered the whole gamut. The article said it could be up to 10 inches of snow, but depending on, how the clouds move and the patterns, it could be up to 2 inches of rain. But depending on the patterns and the clouds, it could be nothing. I'm like, all right, thanks for that. I mean, these guys covered all their bases on that one. They can say no matter what happens. Well, we were right.
Do you know how hard they go to school for a long time to become a weather person, a meteorologist, right?
Yeah.
And they get, like the Weather Channel. You ever I watch that for entertainment. If you because they'll be out in the tornadoes and it's blowing heavy, and they're giving the weather report, and 75% of the time they're wrong.
Right.
But they're getting paid big money to be wrong. Because it is such an uncertain thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I've been following that. Even though I've been out of highway for several years, I still track the weather, especially snow.
Yeah.
And we can get a foot of snow or nothing. And I've heard that many times before. Depends on the fronts, depends on the front moving down, and the polar vortex, all those other things.
I used to keep track of the weather because I used to work outside.
Yeah.
In fact, before this life of comedy and performing, I was always working outside. My first job as a kid was a newspaper route. Then I worked in a lumber yard. Then I drove a truck and worked in a warehouse. And then I spent 20 plus years in the phone company working outside. So I would pay a lot of attention to the weather.
You didn't plow snow though, but it was important because you guys worked outside.
But we weren't contracted, say, to plow like a street.
Right.
But we would plow
a work site.
And other garages. Other phone company properties we would go around.
I see.
But that was only like if we could. Usually when it was bad weather, there was outages. So usually, bad storm meant a lot of work. And that actually used to bug me. Like whenever we would sit there and watch the weather sometimes. Like, we get to the garage in the morning. We'd be, getting some material, getting our equipment together, but we had a TV on. It was also our break room, so
Yeah.
we'd have a TV on. And we'd watch the news, and it used to bug me sometimes, like if the weatherman's saying, well, there's a hurricane coming or whatever type of bad weather, there would be guys like, getting all excited because that meant a lot of overtime, That used to bug me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, but I don't feel the need to profit off, a hurricane means, damage and death and really some hardship.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need the money that bad. Like, I'll figure out ways to make money if it means we don't have to have a hurricane. So
I agree with the same thing.
it used to bug me.
No, like during snowstorms, a lot of the people would call it white gold.
Yes.
Yes. And meanwhile, I've was witness to people dying in snowstorms.
Right.
Accidents beyond accidents.
Absolutely right.
And just to make, it's not life-changing money.
Right.
No, it's not life-changing money.
Right. I mean, you can, some of these guys, were able to. I know plenty of guys that work crazy overtime, and they'd be able to buy a boat and buy a better house, and good for them.
Good for them. Yes.
But I was perfectly fine in my small house.
Yeah.
I enjoyed going home.
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, so I would watch the weather a lot back then. It was nice to get out of that habit after I retired, and I got to
So
point.
it left
I don't
you.
care what
it
the weather
hasn't
is.
left me yet.
It did leave, but I've fallen back into it.
Yeah.
Coming here, because when there is something like that going on, I do like to report it. I do like like if there's a bad snowstorm and a lot of people are staying home, I'll still make it in here.
Yeah.
And then I tell everybody, well, it wasn't that bad coming. If you're in this area or or
nice.
stay home, I've done that. Or even during the pandemic, the essential workers. I did feel like I would try to give COVID updates and talk about things because I wasn't essential, believe me. I knew that damn well, but I did feel like I almost a responsibility. I know that sounds so corny. I feel weird even saying it, but
sound corny.
I did feel a responsibility to talk to everybody and kind of be there, if you will, because people were sitting home, people were going out of their minds.
Oh, yeah.
People were scared. So I did feel a little. I felt very fortunate that I was still able to come in because this place was closed. I mean, nobody was in here.
Wow.
So I'm like, well, then I can come in here. If nobody else is doing it, I may as well come in and do my show.
Yeah.
And Sally and I were together at the time, and we did the show together. So we did the show together. We were going home together, so it didn't matter. It's not like we were living in separate places and then spreading our germs. We spread our germs different ways at the time.
Very nice.
So
Very well put.
yeah. So now I keep track of the weather. Now, so there's this report: 10 inches or 2 inches of rain or nothing. I'm like, all right, thanks a lot. I couldn't believe it.
When I know a snowstorm is coming, it's supposed to come happen Saturday.
Yeah.
You go, you track it Friday night. That's when they'll have more of a pinpoint.
Yes.
And
usually, you can always tell when a storm is coming because of the way they forecast it, the way they report on it. Mm-hmm. They report on it more often.
Oh, yeah.
Like you definitely know when it's really happening as opposed to, like right now. I mean, it's only 2 days away.
Yeah.
By now, you'd be hearing more about it.
Yes.
Where this is just like New York is expecting. Mm-hmm. So I personally don't think it's happening.
48 hours out, they should have a pretty good clear picture.
So, yeah.
But entertainment-wise, if anybody wants, people are going to really judge me on this, but just to watch the people, what's happening out there?
Oh yeah, you heard that?
Sledgehammers?
It did almost kind of feel. Oh, it's probably the.
Oh, the door stop.
No,
thing?
the what do you call it?
Oh yeah, that.
I'm having a brain fart. Go ahead.
What was it?
The Weather Channel.
You want to be entertained by some of these people that are out of their minds, standing on like Atlantic City Beach during like Sandy. I remember.
Right.
It's nuts. And their poncho is flying all over, and they're like, "Oh, you got to see it out here." They're all nuts, and I'm like, "Wow, you went to 6 years of school, 8 years of school to."
I hope you're getting paid well for that because, like, we see it. We're looking out our window.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have to stand there?
I have no
Like,
idea.
you can easily sit in a studio and tell us that it's windy out.
Yeah, because they have 47 screens and cameras from all over the place.
But I don't know what's going on. But I'm the same way. I love going on YouTube and watching like news bloopers and stuff, and that stuff like when the sign falls on their head, or or they're standing near a flood and the car goes by and splashes them.
Oh, absolutely.
Or when they go yelling at.
Why do you have to be out there?
Yeah. Years ago, I was at a Met game, and I think she's still around. McGee Hickey.
Oh, McGee Hickey, sure.
Yeah, she's a well-known local
Very
reporter.
well-known, yeah.
I don't remember what the occasion was, why she was doing a report outside of Shea. I don't remember if it was opening day or what it was, but it was well after the game. Like when I was a kid, and I had nothing but time, I was one of those. I was one of those last to leave. Oh. I don't know why. Like you figure, what am I going to do? Sit in the parking lot?
No,
so you just So I would sit in the stadium, and with my buddies, we just watching people leave, we're looking around.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we'd go down and see where the players come out, because sometimes they'll stop and take, to give autographs and stuff. So we'd sometimes do that. So this was easily at least 2 hours after the game, maybe even more. So there's not many people walking around outside the stadium. But there's McGee Hickey. She's recording some report. So we walk over, and sure enough, a few other people, and there's probably maybe 12 of us, give or take. So as soon as she starts a report, we're all behind her. Hey, let's go, Mets! So she stops in the middle of it. She goes, all right, guys, I'm trying to do my report, She starts again. This went on like 3 or 4 times. Finally, and I remember somebody said that to her at one point, because what happened was after 3 or 4 times, she turned around. Would you guys knock it? Like she's screaming at us. So, of course, now that just fuels us to do it more.
Oh, yeah.
She was getting so mad. She was having like little girl temper tantrums, like stamping her feet, cursing at us. Like she was flipping out. I've never looked to this day. I've never looked at her the same after this. She's flipping out. I'm laughing my ass off, like right in her face. But I remember one guy saying to her, "Well, what do you expect? You come out here." These people, most of these 12 people were probably drunk,
right?
As most people are when they go to the games.
Yeah.
So he said, "What do you expect when you come out here?" And she had no answer for that. And she kept on trying and trying. I remember watching it that night and thinking, because they recorded it. And I remember, like, if you look close, I guess because I knew, you can see how mad she was when she was doing
really
it.
Pissed off.
But like I said, I have never, to this day, don't look at her the same. She was literally stamping her feet, screaming, waving her arms, and cursing, and even cursing at us. And all these years, sometimes I'll even go on YouTube to see if maybe like the recording of that made it out somewhere. I have never been able to find it, but
and most reporters kind of enjoy when people are behind them. Making face or saying something. They'll make it part of a little bit or something, or part of whatever they're reporting. Obviously she was there reporting on the Mets, right?
Yeah, it was something regarding the Mets. I don't remember what the reason was.
She should have said, "Hey, look at these folks, big Met fans." Whatever. I don't know.
In 2015, when the Nassau Coliseum was closing down temporarily because they were going to redo it. They brought in Billy Joel to do like the final concert, the final show, whatever they were calling it. And I was part of a huge group of people that went to this thing. It was probably like 50 of us. I take that back. We all bought tickets separately, but then it had to be at least 50 of us were meeting. Yeah. Like a guy set up a big canopy and a bunch of us. So that we were all back, and we're barbecuing, we're hanging out. And WABC, some guy from ABC came over. He's like, "Do you guys mind? Can I talk to some of you guys? Can we do a report?" So he was pre-recording some one-on-one interviews, but then he was going to go live to introduce his segment. And they did just that. We were all screaming and carrying on behind him, and he did just that. Look at them. They're all having fun. They're getting ready.
Exactly, yeah.
Me and my buddy Rob Notaro, who's been in here with me, he was like, we got to do something, stupid, So we started like jumping up and down like idiots. And then me and him started square dancing behind this reporter.
Oh my God!
And it's out there. You can find it. And I have the prosthetic. I'm in shorts. It was August.
Yeah.
So you see this moron with a prosthetic do-si-doing with this guy, and the reporter's laughing. But then when they go back to the studio, the two anchors, they're like, "Oh, those guys are having fun in the back."
That's funny.
Oh, we were laughing. We were laughing hard.
You gotta have.
We're
fun,
so
man.
stupid.
You gotta have fun.
Absolutely. I went. Oh, you got to get that?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
I went to a Met game once where they're, at these games they play the silly little games at the stadiums, and they show it on the big board there.
Yeah.
So I was
Jumbotron.
that's it. Yeah, the big screen. So I was at a game once and they were doing that, and they just happened to be doing it right behind me. So they start, and I'm looking like, son of a bitch. I mean, literally right behind me.
Yeah.
So I did. I just turned around and I'm looking into the camera. I'm just the whole time, and my buddy starts laughing. So I turn. I go, there, you can see it. He goes, yeah, keep doing it. So I did the whole segment, 2 minutes, whatever it was. I'm just sitting there looking at the camera. I love shit like that.
So do I. My son sent me a video of the Golden Knights, the hockey team. They had the Jumbotron. They were going to each individual person, and a wife hits her husband and says, look, you're on the Jumbotron. And he's like, and Billy Idol is, I forgot the song, but Billy Idol's playing. And he gets up, he tears his shirt off, he's dancing, he slides down like the banister. I mean, the whole place went fucking bananas. And
Well,
it was incredible.
yeah,
incredible.
I used to tell you, right, that when they had the indoor lacrosse games at the Coliseum.
Yeah.
I was Dancing Tony for 10 years, almost
That's right,
10
you
years.
were Dancing Tony, yeah.
It was.
I forgot. Oh, I forgot
yeah.
you did that.
They're not in existence. There is an indoor lacrosse team there now, but they suck. This was during the 90s, the New York Saints indoor lacrosse. Back then, it was indoor lacrosse. This indoor lacrosse league was kind of new at the time, and the New York team was good. So they didn't sell out, but there were times they came close. It had a good response back then. Nowadays, they're lucky if they fill up a quarter of that place because the team is awful. But back so around 88, 89, going to like maybe 2002 or 3, they had a good run, and then they stopped. But during the 90s, I used to get season tickets. I mean, season tickets, we're talking that back then was like $80. It was nothing. So I think it was like early, like 90 or 91. That what they used to do during the halftime show, they would bring out a local high school kick line. They would come out and they'd do their act. And I don't remember why, but for some reason I just got up from my seat and I just started like imitating their act for like half of it or something. Sat down, and some of the people around us were laughing and clapping. The next game, because we had season tickets and a lot of people around us were season ticket holders, we kind of knew them. Not really, but just hi, how are you, But because it was a lot of the same people, they remembered it. So like, do it again. All right. So I would do it again for like half. I'd sit down. But then like the third or fourth time, I was now going to the aisle, and I would copy the whole act, and eventually other sections would see it, and eventually it would catch on. Eventually the whole place would cheer me on and wait for it. It got. And it took off rather quickly to the point where they would turn the lights down and shine a spotlight on me. They'd put me on the Jumbotron. And this went on for, I think it was 9 or 10 years. And, ESPN, I was the lacrosse fan of the year on ESPN. And they showed me.
Yeah.
People would stop me for autographs. I mean, it was insane. And I'll never forget some friends of my mother's happened to be at a game. And they called her up the next day asking, like, kind of insinuating that maybe I might have a drinking problem. And then she had to tell them, no, Tony doesn't drink.
Right,
They're like, what? He's doing that on his own?
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was doing it, and this guy, I had to get out of the way of this guy who was walking down the aisle with his son. And he was a dick. He turned to somebody saying it loud enough so I can hear him. He goes, see, son, that's what happens when you drink. I turned to him. I said, hey. What did I call him? A genius? I said, hey, genius, I think it was. I said, not a single drop of alcohol in here.
Yeah.
And he just gave me one of these. He didn't believe me. But how did we get into this? I don't even remember how we got into this. But anyway, yeah, that was what that went on for a long time. I don't remember why we got into that.
I don't know. All I know is I'm dying to do a flash mob. Are they back?
I haven't seen a flash mob in a long time.
Because of the pandemic, I think.
Oh, that could be, yeah.
I want to start a flash mob. I love them.
Yeah?
Oh, I would love to do a flash mob. Those things
But-
are outrageous.
But like a dance like that? Or
Something choreographed. Just
Right.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you've seen them, right?
Oh, yeah, of course. But aren't there different variations? Don't they have, like...
There's a lot of different. Some
Like, it doesn't necessarily have to be dancing, right?
No, most of it is singing.
Oh, yeah,
A lot
okay.
of them are just singing. One person will start singing, and then, like Grand Central Station, one person
Right.
would sing, and people start looking around. You ever see the guy that started laughing on the train?
I think
he's
so.
got ear pods on, and he's watching his phone, and he starts laughing, and he's got a great laugh. And they start panning to other people. They're like, this guy's out of his mind laughing. But by the end of it, he has everybody laughing because it's so infectious. And it was like a little ad, like.
Was it a mob thing? A flash
wasn't a
mob thing?
He did it on his own.
Yeah, other people just caught on.
Other people caught on. But the flash mob thing is mostly singing, and it really started in Europe. you
Right,
know?
yes.
But I think the pandemic put the kibosh on it a lot because people were afraid to be in crowds.
Well, what's going on with... I mean, Knockem Dead doing the murder mysteries and whatnot, we're within the past year, I think we've finally pretty much come back to where we used to be as far as busy, because of the pandemic. We're one of the last ones to come back because we're very interactive with the type of stuff we do.
Yeah.
But we used to get, we would get the occasional party where it's a surprise. Nobody knows that there's going to be this murder. Nobody knows this is going to happen. I'm not a big fan of it because a lot of times people, if you're not expecting to see a show, you're not in the mindset. Then you're just not into it. Which doesn't make for good energy. But we did one a few years ago. I think I don't know. Was it you I was talking to? I was just talking about it with somebody recently, where we did a murder mystery in somebody's house on Halloween. It was Halloween night, and this person didn't tell the guests that this was going to happen. So we were just in Halloween costumes like everybody else. And we didn't really we kind of did one of our scripted shows, but we had to do it in a way to make it look like we're just part of this party and things are going on.
Yeah.
But then we had the murder, and one guy he wasn't like fall down drunk, but he had a few. So his wits weren't, at its best. So this murder happens, and this guy freaks out. He really got, he thought this was real. This guy starts screaming, starts running around the house, and he said something like, because he was carrying on. And at first we were all laughing. Then after a while, I was like, all right, we got to calm this guy down. So we're trying to calm him down, and he yells out, "Why has nobody called the fucking police?" And as he's saying that, he's grabbing his phone. He runs out the door outside. That's when I jumped up, hopped outside as fast as I could. I physically grabbed him, and I said, "This is all fake. It's a show. We were hired. We're performers. We were hired to be here."
Right.
And you could see, it took a second for that to really sink in. Eventually, he did calm down, and he thought it was the greatest thing. He laughed his ass off, thankfully.
Yeah.
But we get a lot of, we do get the occasional, can you surprise us? Can you do this? And we just had one last night where it was a holiday party for a company, and she wasn't going to tell her staff that this, and I said to her, look, you don't have to tell them it's a murder mystery if you don't want to, but if you wouldn't mind just telling them that there's going to be some kind of entertainment.
Yes.
Just so they kind of expect it. And that's what she did. And it was really kind of weird because, first off, I just booked the show. The woman just called me last Wednesday. Not yesterday, a week before. So I had a week to prepare. Actually, I take that back. She called me she called me last Wednesday, but didn't officially book it until last Thursday, which gives me less than a week. And she starts, not only does she want to surprise her staff, but now she has requests. Can you do this? Can you do that? Can we do this? I'm like, holy crap. So I agreed, charged her accordingly.
Right.
But again, I have less than a week to plan this out.
Mm-hmm.
So she wanted an hour and a half. We were starting at 6, had to be finished by 7:30, had to be like, not a minute later, 7:30. I'm like, okay. It was at Primi Italian Steakhouse in West Islip. Are you familiar with this?
No.
I've never heard of it.
No.
Had no idea. Beautiful place. The food looked fantastic. We weren't fed, sons of bitches, but the food looked great. But so what this was, so I go in. The maitre d' is there, and I explain to him, I'm here to entertain a private party. He says, "Oh yeah," he was the murder mystery guy. I said, "Yes." Takes me upstairs. It's not a private room, but it's very small. It holds maybe 40, maybe 50 people. But maybe even squeezing a little bit more, but it wouldn't be comfortable. But it was only a group of like 15, but they had this whole area. But it wasn't a totally private room. There was it was only 3 walls, and the 4th wall, you look over and you see the bar, and you see some tables. So we start the show, and same thing. So this woman wanted one of the staff members of the restaurant to die immediately. And then we all have to solve it. We have to supply the clues. The whole works. So, and again, I had to fill an hour and a half. So I'm like, with less than a week to prepare, I'm like, what am I going to do? Mm-hmm. So Mike Keegan, great comedian, has a show in here. Everybody loves Mike. Regular here at Govs. I said, and Mike had just come to see us the week before. Mike's a good friend of mine. I love Mike. He had never seen one of our murder mysteries, so when we played the brokerage a couple weeks ago, he came to support, and he loved it. And he came to me afterwards. He goes, Tony, if you ever need somebody, he goes, I'm there, man. This is a lot of fun you guys are doing. Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to figure out how to fill this hour and a half. So I call Mike up, and I said, Mike, got anything going January 3rd? He goes, no, why? What's up? I said, remember you said you'd like to jump in? And he's like, he goes, you want me to learn the show in less than a week? And I said, well, actually, no. I totally just took the easy way out on this show. I said, Mike, they want a staff member to die. I said, so I'm going to have some staff come out. 3 of them. They're going to argue and fight for like 10 minutes. I said, then I'm going to come out. I said, I'd like to introduce you. Come out and do your stand-up for 20 minutes. Mm. I said, I'm going to have one staff member interrupt you. You're going to yell at her. Then you can finish up. I said, and then she's going to come out and die, and we're all going to try and solve it. But right there, I'm like, that's 20 minutes done.
Yeah.
The people fought for 10 minutes before I brought Mike out, so now a half hour is already gone. Mm-hmm. We always play a party game in the middle of our shows for no reason other than we're a party type atmosphere with our shows. So then so at one point I said, all right, we can't solve this murder without playing a game. So I played a game. So and then from that point, there was me and 5 other cast members. So I interviewed them. Then I interviewed, the audience. Who do you think did it and why? They got to ask some questions. Then we solved it together. I mean, hour and a half, 7:33 to be exact. We were done.
Wow.
And worked out beautifully. And but if I didn't have Mike Keegan, his 20 minutes, I killed 20 minutes with stand-up, killed probably 20 minutes with a game. I totally I don't want to say scam these people, but I definitely took the easier way out to get through this.
Well,
and they did, and they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. And and it was a total surprise to the staff. To the staff that was there for their party. But and they totally bought it too so it was Linda Bart and Greg Halverson, who's watching, and this girl Stephanie, who's in our group. The 3 of them are the ones who went out there to start the show, and they did. They really they didn't realize that was part of the show. That these 3 people were arguing, and I'm off to a distance. And I'm watching. You see this group. It was all girls, all women, and they're all. And you can see they're starting to look uncomfortable, and they're trying to just talk to each other. And
yeah.
So I got a kick out of that. But then it was
funny.
It was great.
That's funny.
But then it got weird because, like I said, the maitre d' showed me where to go. But as the 3 of them are going, all of a sudden this woman, actually a very pretty woman, she comes running out of nowhere. And she comes up to me. She goes, "This has to stop." I said, No. I said, "It's part of the show." She goes, No. She goes, "This has to stop." I go, so now with that, as she's saying that, now the maitre d' shows up too, and that's when I realized, oh, she must be the owner or the boss or something. I go, "Did we do something wrong?" She goes, "You see, this isn't a private room." She goes, "I have a restaurant to run down here." She goes, "All they're hearing down there are people fighting." I go, "But it's part of the show." She goes, "I don't care. It has to stop." So now I'm like, now in my head, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I going to do? Yeah. So I go, "Look, I don't know what to tell you." I said, "My apologies." I said, "I didn't talk to you in advance." I said, "But I didn't book this room." I said, "That lady booked the room. This is her party." I said, "I was just brought in to entertain, like a band."
Yeah.
I said, I said, "So I'm just doing what I'm hired to do." And I totally sold out the maitre d'. I pointed right at him. I said, and he knew I was coming. He knew that a show was going on. I said, "In fact, I have a stand-up comedian here, and I had, my speakers and mics." I said, "My stand-up comedian's going to be using a mic in about 5 minutes." She goes, "Oh, no." She goes, "No mics." I'm like, "You got to be kidding me." So I turned to Mike Keegan. I go, "Do you care about using a mic?" He goes, "No, I don't care at all." He goes, "It's, 15 people." He says, "I can project for 15.
Yeah.
I said, "All right, as long as you don't care." I turned back to the woman. I said, "All right, we won't use the mics." And I turned to maitre d'. I said, "I would have loved to have known this because it was upstairs. I had to make 3 trips to bring all my stuff in."
Oh.
So if I knew in advance that we weren't using mics, I could have just walked in and sat down and been comfortable without having to set up or clean up.
I know.
So I was a little perturbed. But I said to the woman, I go, "Look, all right, we won't use the mics." I said, "But I'm not stopping the show." I said, "I'm getting paid to do an hour and a half." I said, "We just started."
Yeah.
I said, "Can I just tell them to tone it down a little bit?" She goes, "Please." And then where there was no wall overlooking the bar, there was a curtain. So she did close it. But it did kind of piss me off because they had music playing down there that we can hear just as loud as we were talking. I don't know. I thought it was a little dicky. And then Jeff Bosey, who's, I don't know if he's still watching, but he was watching. He's in the show. Oh, you met Jeff. He played Talia.
Yeah.
He was starving. He came straight from work. He was starving. He asked the waitress if he can get just a little bowl of pasta or something, right? So she gave it to him. At one point during the show, he had a 5-minute break, so he went over and just, swallowed it. So we were done. The waitress hands him a bill for $30. We're like, because me and Mike Keegan were talking about sticking around after, maybe getting a steak for dinner or something, because the food really did look good. But me and Mike looked at each other like, he got charged $30 for a small bowl of pasta. Mike and I, we just looked at each other and nodded, and we knew exactly what we meant. We are not staying here.
No.
We spend our whole paycheck on our freaking dinner.
crap.
Nice place. The place was mobbed. It was a Wednesday night. The place was packed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the food is fantastic, but between getting yelled at and then getting charged $30, and plus, he's the entertainment. Like, really got to charge him $30 for that? I don't know. I just thought it was a dick move. So
That is a dick move.
yeah, so we hightailed it out of there. But yeah, we get the surprise shows. Where people enjoy
we did
that
one
stuff.
a couple weeks ago. Remember in Lloyd Harbor? That was a surprise show.
Yeah,
And
we
it was,
were talking about that last night. Yeah, and that's exactly what I mean. They don't.
Most of them were not that receptive.
They were not receptive.
No.
They didn't seem to be in a very good mood.
No.
Some of the people, it turned out, didn't even know each other.
Yeah.
Even the guy who was in charge, who I think booked it all, he was fighting with his wife.
With his wife.
Oh, that reminds me. We got to go in a second.
He ran out.
I just heard. Well, yeah, she ran out at one point during the show.
Yeah.
Last night, we were talking about that show. I didn't know until last night. Some of the guys were telling me, because our dressing room was upstairs,
Yes.
some of the guys were telling me that before the show started, the wife came upstairs, was asking all sorts of questions to the guy that booked it, the chef who booked it, and then even said to everybody at one point that she didn't want to be there and was looking for a reason to leave.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
I had no idea. Yeah, that's what I was told last night. I was like, oh, I didn't know that at all. Which again, kind of explains. Jeff is still here. Yeah. He says it was $38. See, almost four. And Jeff, you did pay it, right? Almost $40 for
for a bowl of pasta.
A bowl of pasta. Holy moly!
Oh my God!
Wow, unbelievable. So Yeah, the surprises usually don't work. I'm sorry?
Creamy?
Preemie Italian Steakhouse. I brought it up in here the other day because I never heard of the place, and I never heard of an Italian steakhouse,
Me either.
which I don't even know what that means. You know, and in fact, last night I was even trying to look at people's food. Like, are they throwing sauce on a steak? Like, why is it an
I
Italian?
guess it's just they have Italian food plus steak.
That's
I guess, yeah.
exactly what it looked like. They had Italian food plus steak. Like the steak looked like a normal steak. I was waiting again, looking for sauce or something weird to be on it, but it looked all normal. Some people
But
had
it would've
mashed
cost
potatoes.
you
Some people had French fries.
It would have cost you $1,200 to have a steak.
Probably. So yeah, so we left. But I mean, this was the rare occasion. Like I said, when the show first started, I was like, "What is going on?" But once the murder happened, then you know, and they were into it. They were trying to solve it, and
So those 50 people, they were fun?
they were. I wouldn't say fun. A lot of them were young, like late teens, early 20s.
Oh.
They were, you know. So I'm sure it's an age thing. A lot of the things that I was saying that would get a laugh normally weren't getting a laugh from these ladies.
Mm-hmm.
The woman who hired us, the owner of this company, who was gorgeous, by the way. No, that has nothing to do with my story, by the way. But she looked like she was probably late 30s, early 40s. She was laughing a lot. She was enjoying it. There was another lady probably around the same age who was laughing. The other girls, the rest of them were early 20s, late teens. They weren't laughing as much. So I was feeling like, you know, this is a dud. You know, like as we're doing it.
Yeah.
But then I was turned around because then after the murder happened and we did all the Q&A with all the suspects. Once it was their turn to ask questions, they were all over it. They were all natural. I was like, all right, these guys are into it. They are enjoying it. It wasn't our typical show where it's like fall down laughter from beginning to end and craziness. It was organized. It was quiet. I was pretty much the straight man, just leading it all through. Yeah, but they did like it, thank goodness, because you know, again, for a last minute put together, and Mike Keegan did a super job.
That's nice. And notice.
He
did like almost just about a whole set.
He did pretty much his whole. He definitely has more, but 20 minutes is a lot, and he rocked it. But then even after that, because he stayed out there with us, and he was ad-libbing, and he was having fun. Yeah,
that's cool.
He was great. And him and Bosie, Talia, they're good friends, so they were able to work off each other a lot. And one of the clues for the murder was that the girl who was murdered and Mike are brother and sister. So Jeff is their mother. And so, you know, we were trying to work in some, like, family issues, you know, as a motive for murder. But it was funny because Jeff would go over and yell at Mike, and Mike would yell back, but as they're yelling at each other, they would like grab each other's asses or something, which, you know, would throw another little wrench into things, you know. So they were doing silly things like that just made it work. So, Keegan rocked it. Bosie, also don't forget the woman chased me out of the bar area even though I purchased a drink. Oh, that's right. Yeah, so this woman who was yelling at us to be quiet, Jeff, of course, you know, he's in the dress, so he makes a grand entrance.
Yeah.
So because where we were, they had the cast put our stuff and our equipment right in the same room as where the show was. So the rest of us could sit there because we were, again, you know, some were supposedly staff, and I was just, you know, a guy who was there leading through. So we could all be seen, but Jeff is in the dress.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's got to make a grand entrance for effect. So we had him stay downstairs, and he was like, where am I going to go down there? So I was like, just sit at the bar. He's like, okay. And he bought a drink while he was sitting down there, but same thing. This woman who was yelling at me yelled at him first. She saw him at the bar. She's like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm part of the show upstairs. She goes, well, look at you. She goes, I have people here. You know, I have people coming in to eat dinner and pay for their meals. She goes, I can't have this sitting at the bar. That's what she said.
Wow.
If he was like, you know, like a trans person or something, or, you know, like this woman, you know, we could really make some headlines.
Yeah.
But so luckily, he could come up the stairs and stay. Like the stairs were enclosed. You can't see the stairs from where, you know, from the top or the bottom. So it's like a hallway, you know, like going into a basement, you know. Mm-hmm. So he just stood on the stairs for a little while until it was his time. But yeah, this woman was not. she definitely made things hard for us.
Yeah, it sounds
Which,
like.
yeah, it was weird. But, but thankfully it all went through. So thanks, Mike Keegan. Thanks, Jeff Bosey. Thanks to the whole cast. It was a lot of fun. Jerry Lahane. Yesterday, Jackie the Joke Man was on Matt's show. Yeah, Matt Napo show, Coffee with the Dog, which is on every day at 9 a.m. here. I told him you want Jackie on your show. Watch his response. Really? What, does Jackie have an issue with me again? Me and Jackie the Joke Man didn't talk for about a year.
Really?
Yeah, we had some issues. My opinion, I thought we worked them out. The past couple of times I've seen him, it's been fine. But then I did ask him a couple of times to come in, and his response was a little weird. So I'm like, all right, I guess he doesn't want to come in. So I haven't asked him in a while. Jerry, what did he say? Well, we're supposed to sign off here, but Jerry, tell me what he said. And let me go back. I'll read some other comments while I'm waiting on Jerry. What about baseball players? They fail most of the time, too. Yes, they do. We were just talking about comedy, though, in the show Crashing. Cloudy with a chance of bukkake. All right. White snow is beautiful until it's been laying on the streets for a bit. John Rusiello, wow, Tony, you were truly a great man making that statement. I don't know what statement I made, but thanks. Jack Frost nipping at your tip. And that's also when you birth quarantine life segments. Oh, yes, that's right. That was fun. The quarantine life segments we used to do in here during that time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we used to let people, some of our on-air personalities, just, we called it quarantine life, where every day one of the personalities from in here or a comedian, I think it was every afternoon at 2, they would go on for an hour from their homes and just describe or talk about what they're doing from home.
Oh.
Yeah, how they're spending their time.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. Andy Plajanos, he actually took it to another extreme. He would work out like skits with his daughters and musical numbers, and he would play.
Yeah.
I went actually to Citi Field once, and I just sat out there saying, I'm lonely and can't wait I hope baseball comes back soon and shit like that. I just holding my phone for an hour outside Citi Field. And Bosey did a few. It was fun, but I hope we don't have to do that again. The story sounds like what hecklers say when they try to explain themselves. My apologies for that storm. I had chili the night before. John Rusiello. Jim Cantori from the Weather Channel is
that's
nuts.
Him. Jim Cantori.
He got smacked by the stop sign all the time. I love those clips when people get smacked.
But he's one of those wild guys.
Yeah. Jeff Transbosey. All right, so Jerry Lahane still hasn't told us what Jackie said. All right, I will. I'll have to go back then and check it out. It is time for us to get out of here. It is Thursday. We have actually nothing else the rest of the day. As I told you guys the other day, Nick Greystone going through some stuff. He's okay, but going through some stuff. So his show won't be on for definitely not tonight. I don't see it coming back for the next few weeks, but hopefully soon. And please keep Nick in your thoughts. I don't know if he'll ever talk about it or get into it, but that's his prerogative. But either way, just keep him in your thoughts, and hopefully he'll be back in here soon. But until then, we have nothing on Thursday nights. So we're back here tomorrow, me and Andy. Tomorrow night, Donversations. I believe it's Les Deegan that Don will be talking to. I don't know if we're doing a green room this weekend or not. I'm going to try. There's some great comedians playing Governors this weekend, so hopefully we can get in here Saturday or Sunday. Once again, don't forget, February 4th, come check us out, doing a comedy show in the Giggle Room with Darren Jamat from New York City, with Fudge, who's a great local guy, Darren Greggs, who's also from the city, Christina Holloway from Atlanta, I believe. One of our local favorites, Laura Patton, will be here, and I'll be hosting. Come check that out. Go to govs.com to make your reservations. Of course you can.
What happens in the Giggle Room? What types of things?
They giggle. And they
giggle over what type of shenanigans?
The stand-up comedy type.
Okay.
They giggle and they snort and from laughing.
Right.
And they guffaw.
Guffaw.
Isn't that's a word,
I
right?
think it's
That means
guffaw.
laugh. Guffaw.
Guffaw.
Okay.
We'll have to stroll down to the library and do a little research after we stroll down to the cow place next door.
Right. And lots of just fall down laughter. That's what you'll see that night, by the way.
They could come up with a better name, like the Laughing Room,
It used to be called the Little Room.
the Little Room.
Actually, Little. L-I-L. the
Oh,
Little Room.
Little Room.
But then they expanded it so it wasn't so little, and they changed it to the Giggle Room. Personally, it sounds like a gay bar to me.
It does. That's why. It makes me giggle.
Oh, Christina Holloway is from Queens.
Oh,
Queens.
Queez.
The guy behind this reality show is from Atlanta. And I know Darren, the comedian, he was originally from here, but he's from Atlanta too. So what? How did they find this girl? All right, whatever. So we'll be taping that night for this live reality for this reality show. So if you'd like to be a part of that, you want to be seen hopefully on TV, or if you just want to see a great comedy show, come on down February 4th. It's produced by me and Don Sill. So we're looking forward to it. Don is also one of the producers of this show, of this reality show. And I'll be doing a guest spot on that reality show as well, which I'm looking forward to. So yeah, so come on down. But this weekend, some of the names you'll see on a governor's stage: Welly Jackson, Psychic Robert Hansen. I think that's tonight, actually. That might be tonight. Hasib is from Harlem. If anybody knows gay bars, it's you two. Andy, I was just about to correct your two. He wrote 200, but then I was just about to say it, then he corrected himself. He corrected himself.
That's like a double entendre.
It is. Hasib is from Harlem, so I thought everybody was from Atlanta. All right, I'm confused, but it doesn't matter. Just come to the show. That's all I care about. This weekend, Welly Jackson, Psychic Robert Hansen, Terry McNeely playing the club this weekend, Fat J, Donna Moran, our friend Donna Moran. She hasn't been in here in a while. Chris Cassandro, who also has not been in here in a while. Rich Aronovich, Karen Margolis, who I love, Aaron Berg, who's great, Judy Gold, who's great, who has been in here with us. See, this is why I want to get in. Don, we got to do Green Room this weekend. I think the show with Aronovich and Margolis and Berg and Judy Gold, I think that's Sunday. I'll find out, but I think that's Sunday. We got to get in here that night. Judy, you know Judy Gold? Mm-hmm. She did. She came in here with us and had a blast. And then Jeffrey Asmus is playing the Brokerage this weekend. There goes Kaplan with those words again, says Rusiello. Don still says, yes, it's all giggles, baby. Go to govs.com. Make some reservations to a great comedy show this weekend. See their full schedule. See what else they got coming up. Lots of great shows, as always. Jim Florentine is making his way back here in February. Mike Keegan's doing a show in the big room in February. Come on down to Preemy Steakhouse, where all the meat is tender right out of the incubator. Oh, God. That's, yeah. Hershey and the Keegs on their show Tuesday night. Those are the jokes they were making that night. Don Sill says, Sunday looks good for me. All right, excellent. Let's do it. All right, so you know what? Screw it. Give me 2 seconds. Let me make sure right now that's the day that they're coming in here. And then we're going to get out of here. Mike, what are your plans this weekend?
Are you talking to me?
Yes. You can say none. That's okay.
None.
All right. Very nice. See that? He's got a new girlfriend. He's just going to be snuggling in the house with his new girlfriend.
Why? Am I invited? Can I come to the gig? Well, wait. Is the Giggle Room... What happens
right?
in there?
Are you okay?
Not really, no.
The Giggle Room, it's just another stage.
But it's not the main one here.
The main room is over here.
There's another one here?
You go straight down the hallway. The door at the end of the hallway, that's to the Giggle Room.
Yeah.
That holds about 90 people.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice little room. All right, yeah, January 7th. When is that Sunday?
It's such a dick. It's a nice little room.
January 7th is Sunday. Yes. So this Sunday, Don, that's the show. It's called Stand Up New York and Badass Jews present Stand Up for Israel.
Oh, I'm a Jew.
You are.
John Rusiello. Here comes the comment.
Aaron Berg, Judy Gold, Rich Aronovich, and Karen Margolis. Big fan of all four of those. Don, we're in here Sunday. We're going to be in here to enjoy that show and hopefully get those guys in here. Rich Aronovich, I can almost guarantee he'll come in here. He's been on this show. He's hilarious. Don, didn't Aaron Berg come in here with us once? Karen has been in here with us. Judy Gold has been in. Yeah, we'll get them in. That'll be a lot of fun. Okay, yeah.
Yarmulkes?
What's that?
They wear yarmulkes?
Not that I know of, but we can wear some yarmulkes, some Yamahas, if you'd like. All right, with that, we're out of here. So, yeah, nothing on tonight. Come back tomorrow. Me and Andy will be in here. I don't think anybody else is joining us, but you never know. Thank you, pal.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you guys for hanging out with us today and sticking around with us as we went a little late. We will see you guys tomorrow. See ya. What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy Murder Mystery Show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And, of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. She had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties,